Hey, this is Garrett Brock. This is my concluding analysis for the Keurig and Green Mountain discussion case. I'm going to be just doing a hangout and posting this and answering just a couple questions. The first question that's asked in the assignment is, how do you prepare for a negotiation like this? I think this was a really interesting assignment that we had for class. We've done a couple negotiations before face-to-face in class, but it was a lot different preparing in teams and knowing we're meeting with other people not from class, someone maybe we don't have much experience or background with. And I think we learned a lot. I think the thing that I learned in our assignment for preparing for negotiations is that you need to know as much as possible. When I was looking over the discussion boards, I thought Jason said something really insightful, is that you can never be too prepared or know too much when it comes to negotiations. One thing that would have made our negotiation better is if all of us were had a better understanding of the case, or had more knowledge, or had done more, ran more numbers, or had just a better understanding of the analysis that was presented. I think we did a pretty good job of knowing the base concepts of what was needed and what was expected. But digging deep into the details and the understanding of what is best for both sides. That was one thing I thought was interesting during our discussion, is I felt our team, the Green Mountain, went into it looking for an opportunity to be fair and to do what's best for both companies. We understand that Keurig wants what's best for them, and we believe that they understood they knew we wanted what was best for us, and that we needed to find a happy medium. And so our goal, or our focus for the company, or for the discussion, was that at first we were going to start and kind of just lay out kind of what we thought, what kind of things we expected, and then kind of hear their feedback. It was really interesting because we thought there was going to be a couple, here or there, things that we didn't agree on. And it was really startling, I think, when we heard their first feedback of how far apart we really were. We thought we had a pretty good understanding and presented a good deal that was fair to both teams, both sides, but in their perspective, it wasn't. And so one thing I think we learned about, especially when it comes to preparation for a negotiation, is have a really big understanding of possibilities of what could happen. We thought for sure we were pretty intact of this is kind of how it's going to go, and it was a lot different than we thought. They were pushing a lot more and felt that they had a lot more leverage than we did. And so it kind of threw off our strategy and our pattern and our system right off the bat. What I felt like Keurig's walkaway is that they did not want any exclusivity rights, that we needed to, if we wanted to be part of this deal, we couldn't have exclusivity, that they wanted to also branch out and work with other people. That's kind of what the team that we discussed with, that was their main push, was that no, we do not want to be exclusive, and we will repay you in ownership of the company, as making up for that not being able to have ownership, exclusivity of the product for X amount of years. Our Green Mountain walkaway point was mainly, we really wanted to be a part of this deal. We talked as a team, and we felt that this was a great opportunity, that we needed to join, that we needed to do as much as we could to get our name on these type of products. Of course, we wanted to do what was best for us, and we didn't want to be pushovers, but we also think that the opportunity of working with Keurig and their new invention and their new product is going to be a big market, and that we wanted to get in now, and that with our background, we would be able to help grow this industry, and because of our brand name already out there. So our walkaway was basically that our company wasn't completely taken advantage of, that we felt that we were being treated fairly, that we gained some ownership, and if we weren't able to gain ownership, that we were able to have some exclusivity. We just wanted to be able to play it fair, that if they wanted certain requirements that they had to repay us and other requirements. And we felt that we were treated pretty fair. At first, we were surprised how far we are, but with the amount of equity of the 10% equity that was given to us in ownership in their company, we felt justified in having no exclusivity and paying for the production rights or paying for the production costs. And so, we felt that it was fair, and we did a good job. The ZOPA that was definitely hard. How our discussion started off was we went over each topic that was going to have a number, numerical value, and each presented what we thought was fair. And we thought for sure there'd be maybe one or two that we were kind of close on to start with, and things that were maybe a little bit further, maybe just here that but once we presented the data, we realized that we were very far apart from cutting a deal. Throughout most of the time, I didn't think we were actually going to be able to get a deal done. They were very aggressive right off the bat, and we were more laid back and willing to listen. But then once we felt their aggressiveness, that we became a little more aggressive and a little more intense with our negotiating as well. So we really had to learn where we could give and where we could take, what kind of things, where a good range to work in was, and that was definitely difficult to start with. It's the zone of possible agreement is the zone in which sales and negotiations really take place, and we had to be able to create that environment and fairness. So even though we were far apart, we also felt that we were close enough to be able to continue negotiating. We weren't far enough apart that it was going to be a waste of time, but that we could potentially come to an agreement. So we found that zone, the ZOPA, and we worked as a unit and as a team with the other team to find out what was best for both companies. So on to question number 2. Are there risks for Green Mountain the same under are the risks for Green Mountain the same under True North and a license agreement? I don't think so. The risks of the True North is that we don't get to be a part of this wonderful opportunity. We are kind of separating ourselves and letting them go off themselves. We maybe save money and we can continue to put our resources into our products that we already have. But with the potential of this opportunity and the magnitude that it could potentially play in our company, the risks are really great. If we don't make this deal happen, we could potentially miss out on a lot of sales. With their projected numbers of how big their company can be, we could be missing out on a great potential revenue in the future. And the risks of us taking a licensing agreement are that we have to spend some more money. We have to help, begin a new brand, help Keurig, sell their products, and they'll be, it'll be a challenge. We'll have to take resources away from our products that already are doing pretty well, and we'll have to help with the deal that we negotiated. We'll have to pay for a lot of production fees to cover the costs for Keurig to work with us. So there's definitely different risks depending on the deal that happens. I believe the license agreement is what is best for our company because of the potential revenue that will take off with the Keurig's new product. We believe that's the best thing for our company. Next question: How do any differences in risk affect Keurig's walkaway royalty? I believe that they'll have to. The biggest difference is that if they are to make their own True North brand, that they'll have to charge lower fees or have a lower cost per cup of coffee because of the lack of brand recognition and the competition that is out there. They will need to start at a price point that's affordable, and will get people to try their product. And also, they'll have to pay higher operation fees, because in the deal that we had, we would cover all the operation costs. They would have to cover all of that if they did the true north, which would make their future income lower because of the high price they have to pay for that. So they have risks that will affect their royalty. I think it's best for them also to look for a license agreement, because they can charge what our brand already charges, and which we don't have exclusivity with our deal. They'll be able to charge what other companies are charging and get higher royalty fees because of the brand that is already out there, and so forth. The last question is, what are the key takeaways from this case? I think with this case, I think the things that I learned the most were mainly during the discussion and during the team part of the case. Was just the importance of being prepared. I felt that I was pretty prepared going into it, and I found out pretty quickly I wasn't as prepared as I would like. I thought I had a good understanding of the case and what real questions are out there for both companies, and I found out I wasn't. The questions that were important to Green Mountain weren't necessarily the questions that were most important to Keurig and getting their answers. So it's truly being prepared and understanding both sides of the negotiation. Understand that they're trying to do what's best for their company, and that we are trying to do what's best for our company. When you're able to think as the other company, you're able to be more prepared and more effective during the negotiation, because you can understand what they are trying to do. Understanding their banta and what they're truly trying to accomplish for their company is just going to make you a better negotiator, and also not just someone who gets what they want when they negotiate, but someone who helps the situation, helps both people get the best of the situation. So that's definitely something I learned. I also learned just the importance of I kind of already talked about this in my last answer, but understanding that who to work with, the type of people you want to work with and you want to negotiate with. I learned that I don't want to work with people who are only looking out for themselves, but that they are trying to understand what we are trying to accomplish and what our business goals are. During our negotiation, I felt that the other team was only trying to get what was best for their company and not try to understand that we are trying to do what's best for us as well. When you have leverage, you need to use it in a way that doesn't seem that you're trying to stomp another company out. I kind of felt that during our negotiation, but that's sometimes you have to deal with that, and you have to learn to work with that. But if it was my own company and I was in charge, I would not want to work with other people that work that way. But at the same time, when there's an opportunity as great as Keurig was presenting us, sometimes you have to work with those people. So it's a give and take, and learning how to balance who you work with and what things you're willing to give up, and maybe how you're treated. I thought this was a good assignment, and thanks for listening to my video.